2, 1. Hey, chat. Hello, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the Innocent Lives Foundation Tuesday night fireside chat for September 2025. This is our monthly, just off the cuff, completely informal interview with some folks who happen to be friends of ours. Usually it's in a little more law enforcement adjacent. Usually we're talking to somebody like a human behavior expert, or as we spoke to retired Secret Service agent Brad Beeler last month, or Dr. Abby Moronio. It's a little bit of the, sort of the ecosystem and the science behind it. But this month we have a definite off the beaten path sort of approach here with ILF. My name is Nick Kelly, aka Rev3 Dude. As always, I'm your host here, and welcome to the Innocent Lives Foundation. The Innocent Lives Foundation, as you know, is a non-vigilante organization that identifies anonymous online child predators, develops and delivers specialized training for law enforcement, and provides educational resources for parents, guardians, and teachers. You can find out more at innocentlivesfoundation.org. Is there any chance that I fixed the commands? No. What's up, Eltrek? Welcome to be. Thank you for being here in chat. Okay, well then I will type this out. Innocent Lives Foundation. Now, for those of us who've been with us for a while, a couple of years ago we were approached by some uh, really interesting crew in the Affinity Racing League, Affinity Racing Series. And what the Affinity Racing Series is it's iRacing. And I'm going to ask you guys to define iRacing in a second here because, again, they're a little bit different demographic than what I'm used to seeing with you guys on Saturdays and Wednesdays, right? So Affinity Racing is an iRacing group that is they've come together to provide entertainment to the sim racing community through the I'm going to specify these words because I think they matter. Uniquely chaotic viewer broadcasts, as well as regulated league races. Their league, the Affinity Racing Series, is a collaboration of several different leagues with several highly regarded drivers that have come together to form one major racing series. Under the Affinity Racing brand, there are over 900 drivers that aid in planting your flag on the iRacing platform as one of the top entertainment racing associations. Affinity Racing also happens to raise money for charities to give back to the community, and they've raised over 10 grand. We were the beneficiaries of season 2. I want to say 2022. Maybe you guys can
23.
23. Okay, so you guys correct me there. But yeah, we're going to talk about it, and I'm the only one on camera. I don't. These boys are awful shy for guys who wreck cars all week long. But uh, with me are Mike McElroy and Brandon Richard. Got to pronounce it right, right?
Oh, of course.
So yeah, so welcome aboard, boys. How you doing?
Excellent, man. How are you?
I mean, this is I get to talk to my people. I don't have to, like I said, I could have prepped questions, but that would have
Not tonight.
been a monster waste of time. Yeah, I don't think that would have been that would have been the
No
right move.
need.
Yeah,
No need.
no need. So I was watching you guys last night. We had a good time on Monday night at where were we? Not Bristol,
New Hampshire,
New
actually.
Hampshire. Bristol was last week. The Rec Fest that was Bristol last week.
Oh boy,
It
yeah.
always
It
is.
was it's a wreck fest. I mean, Wednesday night was a whooping. Monday night was a wreck fest.
Wednesday
It was
night was just
bad.
one guy, and then everybody else destroyed.
Yeah,
That
Tom
was
Wetmore showed up. Everyone else was kind of scooting around a little bit, looking like modifieds.
It
It
was
was a
it
good
was Tom
time.
Wetmore in traffic.
it
Yeah.
was. It was.
And Tom Wetmore and co. It was a good time.
So,
Good time.
all right. So before we even get into some of the racers, because there are a couple that I definitely want to shout out because I know that they've been super pro for us. Tell me about like iRacing in general. Like, how long ago did you guys decide you were both like just fans or just viewers or what the heck? And then when was the angel choir of angels in the skies part, and you were like, I definitely want to do this.
So Richard actually got into iRacing first. I was into the NASCAR Heat days, so console racing.
Oh yeah.
And then I didn't even like NASCAR until 2022. I mean, like the sport. So maybe 2021. All the years are mixed up. Those post COVID years are like they're just a
Oh,
blur. And so it might have been 2021. But the I think the I was on NASCAR Heat, and Brandon and we've known each other since 2005.
Yeah.
And one day he was streaming on his handle, Papa Smart. He was over there streaming iRacing, and I was like, I just jumped on and I was like, hey man, what is this? Because I like racing games, and he's like, oh, it's iRacing. And yeah, so I just went in there and I was like, oh, hell track, appreciate
Oh,
appreciate
wow.
it as
Awesome.
always,
Let's
buddy.
go.
Yeah, so the what's up, Nadu? What's up, Sick Moose?
Hello.
Yeah, so we were over there. I was sitting there watching him, and he said it's iRacing, man. So I was like, all right, I'll come check it out. And then we got into iRacing. I think we got into iRacing in 2022
Yep.
because he was only on a few weeks before me. Is that right, Brandon? I think it was
Oh,
like a month.
it was barely a month. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we jumped onto iRacing and we started racing together. Funny story for you. So in NASCAR Heat on the console games, you know, it's your typical Nick, I know you're a gamer as well. It's your
Yeah,
typical
of
like
course.
console games. It's your typical game where like if you have an issue with somebody or something like that, like you'll just wreck them, right? Well, iRacing has a very strict code of conduct. And so I jump on my first race, and Richard is like, "Hey, man, come over here and run Charlotte. What was it?
Charlotte rookie street stocks.
Charlotte Rookie Street Stocks."
Yeah.
And Richard he was one of the last times he was ever in front of me for the unforeseeable future, but he was
Jamie
in front
pulled
of
the
me.
stats.
He was in front of me, and so yeah, he was in front of me, and I remember he just crossed the start finish. I think I had wrecked out, so I was a lap down, and he was getting close to the start finish line, and I dive into the pits and I drive through the grass up on track, and I just slam him into the outside wall, and
Murder.
he immediately. This is one of my first races on iRacing.
It's the
He, he immediately jumps on the microphone and says, hey, buddy, you can't do that here." And I mean, I just
it's just
destroyed his car. Like
it,
it was completely
everyone.
protestable
Yeah.
offense. Like,
1,000 in iRacing, the code of conduct is very strict as far as like on track retaliation and intentional wrecking. And he, like a cruise missile, aimed at me and murked me on the front stretch. And I just really calmly was like, "Yeah, bud, can't do that here. It's a totally different set of rules as opposed to what we're accustomed to in the rock'em sock'em world of Heat."
yeah,
Uh, and from then on, I went on to win a couple races. And Mike, you've done some stuff.
yeah. Well, yeah, I think that first year I ran. I'd have to pull up my stats, but I was 100% invested. Like I ran, I think it was over 600 races
Oh,
my first year on,
And he
and
started after the new year. It was what, like into April,
it was in March. Yeah, it
May-ish.
was in
Yeah, it
March.
was.
Yeah.
Whew.
And you know, I was like all the time, like
Yep.
nonstop, just racing nonstop. So and then eventually like we got into a league. We'll call it the league that shall not be named.
Shout
But we
out.
got we got into a league. I mean I say that, but we met some really cool people there. It was just it was there was a lot of drama that came from that. A lot of it was a super toxic place to be.
Unnecessarily toxic.
mm,
Yeah, like people doxing each other and all that. Like it was bad. And then
Yeah.
so yeah, we got into that league, and we wound up helping out the leadership of that league to help start running things.
okay.
And then as it slowly became more and more toxic, we were just like, man, eventually it was me, Richard, and a guy named Josh McQuiggan. We were like, dude, we could literally just do this ourselves. Like we're helping this guy out. He doesn't want the help. He's supporting the people that are being toxic. We are like, let's just go do this ourselves. And that's where Affinity Racing Series came. So Affinity Racing Series actually came before the brand Affinity Racing.
Okay.
Shout out
And
to Heather, by the way, who legit looked at us and was like, "Here's the name." It was like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay. Well, there
yeah,
you go." It was, yeah. She came up with it on the spot, and then off we went. It was in one night, within an hour on a Discord call. We had a name, we had a logo, we had an idea, and we were off and running.
I think we even had a schedule. I think
Yeah,
we spent he says a night on a Discord call. That night was probably 6 to 7 hours long. Like we were just
it
sitting
was
there
very
just
long.
plugging
Yeah,
information. Like it
That,
was it was a good time.
that's a cool room to be in, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where well,
oh,
what about this?
absolutely.
Like, well, like, what about if, there's a lot of, like I said, I think we were joking earlier, right? It was like I was at a production meeting about, well, we need new skins for when we do the next series of this. And so what, do we want to use, our branding, which you're familiar with, Brandon, right? Which is like, there's the yellow, there's the black, there's the white, there's the very specific blue.
That blue, man. Yeah, the blue.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, before we put this out, especially like something big for us, like our annual impact report, like everything has to be exact, you know. But when you start just knock those down, like, hey guys, what about this? Because sometimes I think what you wind up with, and I'm guilty as charged, is like you kind of wind up with like the idea people, but they have no idea how to put it into practice. And then you have the put it into practice people who are like, okay, we can do
Yeah.
70% of that, right? Let's rein that in a little bit. And it just sounds like the whole thing just kind of cranked out pretty quickly. And I love it when you're like, again, it's that moment where you're like, no, that's it. That's the name, you know?
Creative spaces like that. I mean, like again, credit to Heather. She is an incredibly creative mind as well. And she wasn't even in the call. She was just in the room with me. And Mike and Josh and I'm sure just a few others that were kind of popping in and out were really just throwing ideas, like you were saying, just a total war room of like this can lead into this and this can lead into this, and all of a sudden, like you said, we had a name, a logo, a schedule. We got the domains. We had literally everything kind of hashed out, and then it was like, all right, now off we go with the mission in mind to raise money for charities and to make this, you know, driver first and obviously audience first as well, because the broadcast it's a very important tool, you know, just not just for you know, egomaniacs on iRacing that want to watch themselves in a fake car drive around for 3 hours,
Mhm.
but it really it serves its purpose, and just like like just like we're doing right now, except you know, for 3 hours every Saturday and a couple hours every weekday, we get to sit around and talk to our friends and essentially podcast while racing is going on. And I love that much more than I do the actual aspect of iRacing. I'm one of the weird people now that pay for iRacing, and I typically watch. I'm broadcasting. I'm
Yep.
hardly in the seat, but I enjoy it much more that way right now. It's an entertaining aspect that we, along with a few other channels on Twitch, can provide quite a few people.
Yeah,
I
and I
love,
think the
go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was gonna I think the charity thing came uh pretty early on. It wasn't the initial decision.
We were
But
going to take the
we
money
were
and run.
no, we were just we were trying to figure out like so we obviously like we already had a group of drivers that we had talked to, and we're like, hey, listen, if we start this, would you come over? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, because we had that whole league that was pretty much done with that league. Um, and they were all committed to coming over. We had a few other leagues that were also committed to come over. Ran some um what are those called? Recruitment races. And that brought a few more people in. I think a typical league on iRacing, and this is not to like pat our backs or anything like that, but it just shows um the the amount of time that we were putting into it. Was typical league on iRacing starts, you know, you're talking maybe 10 to 20 drivers. And I think our season one, I mean, we were fielding 30 to 40 car fields uh on a no name league, which is just was amazing, and it had us having the feeling that we were doing something right. And then the charity talk came probably before a few weeks to a month before the season started, because Richard and I, shout out to this guy Striker. Striker used to do these charity races. He would do them like once every 6 months or so, and they were just like, "Hey, it's breast cancer awareness. We're gonna everybody get together, donate money. We'll take half the pot, donate it to charity. We'll take the other half of the pot and give it to the drivers." And again, it was just us three sitting there talking again, and we're like, "Why don't we just do that every race?" Like, and what we'll do is we'll have this long campaign where we just say, hey, if our season is going to be roughly 4 to 6 months with 5 weeks and everything, let's just set a date limit, and then we'll just start raising money for charity, and we'll just do it all the time. That way, these people, even if they're racing, even if they have a bad week, and to get out of that mindset of the toxic league that we were in,
Yeah.
we were like, even if you have a bad week or you get wrecked out or something happens to you, you can still kind of, you know, rest assured that, you know what, I'm still doing something good while just doing a hobby that I love to do. And that is where like our whole underlying mission of it's changed so many times, but I think the initial mission was race with purpose. I think it's race with reason now. Um, but that's where like that race with purpose came, and it just made I know for me, Richard and Josh at the time, like it made us feel good. And then you had a lot of the drivers like you could tell like when bad things would happen on track, and by bad things I mean they wrecked their fake cars in a fake universe.
Yeah.
uh, they
Their
you
hands
could
get
tell.
hurt on their steering wheel from the force feedback. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? They spill their Mountain Dew that they didn't put a lid
The
on next
reason I
to it.
stress
Like
that is because sometimes when people wreck, they act like that was the real $400,000 car that they
their
just
mom
wrecked.
is gonna flip out.
And
You know what I
it
mean?
carries over from into the Discord because I've seen some of the like
Oh
it gets
yeah,
salt in the Discord for sure.
yeah. You see some
Yeah.
people get
That's our
pretty.
favorite thing is to go, you guys know the guys from the charity are in here, right? And they have access to all this. They can see everything.
Yeah,
I
That's
think there
my
was a moment
favorite
last
part.
night where some of the joke, like the theme of some of the jokes, and I was kind of like, "Hey, boys, just work all that out tonight because like, we'll be
yeah,
doing that on Tuesday." Yeah.
Yeah. Get
Um.
out
yeah.
of
So
our
I
way.
think it created kind of like an underlying tone of like it kind of calm. I mean, you're still always gonna have that beef.
Yeah.
But even a lot of the stuff that like you may have seen in the Discord, like the beef that we had, it's not near as bad as like some of the leagues we've been in, where you're just
Oh,
like, I mean,
bad.
Yeah.
The
it gets
doxing
really
you
bad out
mentioned,
there.
you Mike
Yeah,
had mentioned doxing, and I mean, like going to people's social medias or taking it to social group. I mean, you see it in some of these toxic iRacing Facebook groups. They will post clips and name names, and it is just atrocious. For like, guys, it's a video game. It's a video game, not even a real simulator. It's a video game,
yeah,
and they will get real hurt, the real hurt feelings over this. And but that is what we wanted to do was go, cool. You guys can have that sector of iRacing. We're gonna go do the fun stuff for charity over here. If you guys want to come over here and like Mike said, the turnout for season one with a no name, no merit group of guys who just got into this was incredible. And
yeah.
so far, it hasn't really slowed.
And let me give out a shout out real quick,
Yeah.
and it's I don't want to forget him, but I see him out there in chat right now. Big shout out. I know I said me, Josh, and Brandon came over and started Affinity Racing Series, but a big pull for us was pulling in those guys over at YJ Media. I see him in
Oh,
there. They
he,
broadcasted our first season for us.
we stole
Uh,
them.
and yeah, and they were actually the broadcasters of that league that shall not be named. They were the broadcasters of that league, and they came over with us. And put it to you this way: so obviously they're not going to do it for free, right? They're spending their time to help you out and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
But part of my bargaining chip and Max, I don't know if that's Max on their account or not. Part of their bargaining chip, there was this one guy above all other guys was the most toxic in that other league.
Mhm.
And I literally told him part of my bargaining chip to get them to come over to our league was I was like, this name, this guy's name will never be allowed to join, and you'll never have to say his name on Monday nights again. And I think his next message he typed back to me was, "All right, you got a deal."
Deal.
It's like,
Deal.
and we had a
Absolutely.
broadcaster for season one.
YJ and Art were huge for us because they were the introduction to a lot of the Twitch audience that we didn't have. We didn't have anything. And
Yeah,
so having those guys that were established in that medium were huge, and we had huge shoes to fill as regards to I believe it was season 3, and I mean and
yeah. Was that our
since
first
then
broadcast?
yeah, it was.
It was
Yeah,
still YJ in season 2 when I started
yeah,
jumping
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Season 3, I believe. Man, I don't want to butcher the storyline here. But I believe Max had just had a kid, and he was yeah they were looking
Yeah.
to crazily downsize their schedule. I think for a while there they even went down to just they
Oh,
went down to just one series, which was Rod Car, which unfortunately is not around. We all loved Rod Car, but
number 2 on the way,
Oh
by the way.
wow! Look at that!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
hey, congrats, man. Yeah, yeah. So
Breaking
uh,
news
he,
here on Innocent Lives Foundation.
yeah,
Another
you heard
G
it here first.
the world needs another GT fan, of course. Fantastic. Mazel tov. That now confirmed Max, by the way. Now we've confirmed it's
Yeah,
Max.
yeah.
Everyone over Clemson, bro. All right, back to it. Sorry.
Oh my
All
God.
right. Get distracted.
Yeah.
But
So what?
yeah, yeah. So he, congrats to him, man, on his growing family. But yeah, he was
So good.
downsizing, and I think at the time we were already like had no idea what we were doing, but we were trying to broadcast Next Up just to give those guys something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was rough. It was super rough. But we were just having fun doing it. And at that point, I was like, I think I sent once YJ said, "Hey man, listen, we're gonna start downsizing. Appreciate everything you guys done." It was very, very cordial.
They broke up with us.
Breakup. Very cordial.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's me kind of break. No,
Amicable. Very
Yeah,
amicable.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think the very next day, Rashard and I messaged each other, and we were like, "Well, I guess we're gonna have to try this out now." Like,
I've streamed. Like Mike had mentioned earlier. I had streamed since 2018 on my own channel, and had quite a following with doing wrestling content. But I had never broadcasted an iRacing event, nor used the software. And I'm an overachiever, so I'm going to try and add as much stuff to it as possible. So
17 camera angles, and you hate 15 of them. I know this.
I hate 14 and a half of them because I moved one of them. I moved one. It's no longer in that wall behind the pit road. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, you know the one.
Yep.
But it was daunting because now we're thinking of how in the world do these guys fill 2 hours of content talking about cars driving in a circle? And it's a task we have every single week during these league races. I say we. These league races are, you fundamentally have to find a storyline. Right now, Nick Miller, of course, in the Cup Series is just coming in, showing up, winning, and leaving. And then you've got the parody of just one car and Next Up versus other cars we've done in the past. I think the shadow was, how do we do it and make it fun? And then from these league races, that's where the real fun started to kind of sprout of like, why are we doing just this? Why is it so formulaic? And then all of a sudden, I kind of left for a little bit, and then Mike started streaming on the weekends.
we won't get into the details, but Rashard had a
yeah, make it weird. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. Make it weird. I left because I was bored with it. Yeah.
No, no. You gotta. All right, we don't want to put your personal information.
Are we segging into Super Saturdays? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
like
so
that?
before we do that, let me just say a couple things I've learned. Right. So first, toxicity is okay if you're listening to System of a Down, but that's it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Confirmed.
Second, I'm with you. Like doing what we do, the doxing stuff is terrifying. Like,
right.
Absolutely.
Clearly, like you guys understand because we've had 100 talks. But if you have any questions for us, obviously on our side after we talk about the Super Saturday thing, but yeah, so much of it. I mean, we can go with "Toxic," right, by Britney Spears. We can include that in here if we want to just.
I don't know. I don't want you getting DMCA the whole video and get taken down by Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, can you sing that song? I don't know which one you're talking about.
But can you sing it on key?
No.
And look at the camera while you do it.
Absolutely not.
Can someone get this man a snake to just put around, like a boa, just to put around his shoulders?
You know what? You drink your coffee, and I'm going to tell people once again what the ILF is, and then we're going to talk about Super Saturdays. So the Innocent Lives Foundation, thank you for being here, everybody, is a non-vigilante organization that identifies anonymous online child predators, develops and delivers specialized training for law enforcement, and provides educational resources for parents, teachers, and guardians. You can find out all that and more at innocentlivesfoundation.org. And we're joined by our friends at Affinity Racing at raceaffinity.com. If you want to support ILF through Affinity, then you could go to raceaffinity.com/donate. It's season 6. And let me ask you, because I want to save Super Saturday just for a minute. How did you guys find us?
So I found you guys through Streamlab Charities website.
Okay. Yep, we are there. I know that for sure.
Yeah, it was Streamlab Charities website, and it was the first time that we were able to, which is another reason we switched over to Tiltify, is because I don't like being like the middle guy for the.
I don't want to handle the money. I don't want to handle the money. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So that's why like Streamlabs was awesome because the Streamlabs charity, like it was people donate and then I'm being honest with you, I don't know where that money goes. It somehow makes it over to ILF. Like there's magic that happens in the background and it makes it to ILF. Yep. And then Tiltify is the same way. Where like people as they donate, I'm assuming it just all goes straight to you guys at one at a time, or maybe maybe it saves up some and then donates. But yeah, it's super awesome. We were using Give Butter for a while, and Give Butter was an awesome site. But one of the reasons we switched over to Tiltify was because it's got a lot of Twitch integration to it. Like
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can do so much with it. I wish they would. There's some things that I would love to sit down with them and actually talk to them about. I mean, we're uh much smaller streamers than your typical guys out there, like your Jinxies or your
Markipliers and all that. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
like all those guys. But
Never heard of her.
I would love to sit yeah, I would love to sit down with them sometime and because there's so much, like, especially for a racing community, there's so much stuff that I know Richard alone being the design guy, like we would love to just customize, like just
Yep.
customize just to fit like our theme of what we're doing.
He's a
The
little-
kid and I are both like the kid and I are chomping at the bit. How many like riffs can we just put in? Like I know that it says you can upload, for your ringtones and your alert boxes and all that stuff. But we're like, do you have we just want to produce new music every single week and just
Yeah.
have it in there, So I don't know if there's any limitations. I'm gonna take this jacket off here real quick.
Oh, look at
It's just a
that.
little warm out.
Hey, hey, Max, you still in here? That's the ARSYJ shirt.
That's
There
the
you go.
YJ shirt.
There you
We
go.
gotta get you updated.
That's
Shout
fine.
out to backmarker.shop. That's backmarker.down right now. We gotta get it backmarker.up.
Backmarker offline right now, but
Backmarker.down.
yeah, no, I
But
got
yeah.
this. I'm still rocking my season 2 gear. I
Oh.
was like, so I got approached from one of the folks, at the time our chief operating officer, and he was like, "You're the gamer, right?" And I'm like, "Oh God, like where's this
Yeah.
conversson going?"
Hey
And
nerd, come here. Yeah.
right. And it's like, have you heard of iRacing? And I have one person who I know who's a guy who a former coworker, and I was like, yeah, all I know about it is like you have to have the right steering wheel and pedals and all. And we even looked at Micro Center and we're like, oh, this is complicated, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, hey man, guys, just if you can come on for like 30 seconds and just talk about ILF. And then I showed up that first and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
'Cause I was thinking bunch of guys turning left, and then it was just not that. You know what I mean? It
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was just and the personalities and Brandon can't run out of impersonations if you try it, and then you get you bring drivers into the booth and you get some of their stuff, and I like to thank my and you get Buddy Daryl or whoever that guy is, and then Ashish, and there's just so many different racers. It's like, okay, I'll see you again in 2 nights. I'll see you again next week. I'll see you again next week. I'll see you again next week, and it was just fun. Like I will just pop on and watch at this point because I don't know if I expect the vibe everywhere to be that, because I definitely don't watch everybody's iRacing stream that I've been invited to, but when I know you guys are racing, I definitely do. And the format, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Monday's like the league.
Right.
Wednesday's next up, right?
Yep. Also the league. Yeah.
Also,
So they're
the,
both they're basically two divisions of the league.
okay.
The league and a league, yes. A series in the league. Yeah, exactly.
And then Super Saturday is not.
Oh,
in-
good
No.
lord, no.
no.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Oh, no.
so
No,
I
no.
watched some of that, and everybody who's like, I don't even know what that sport is, and I'm like, if you really kind of want to just dive right in with both feet, Super Saturday.
Frisbee
Yeah.
golf with tackling is essentially what Super Saturdays is. It's like frisbee golf with tackling
Yeah.
Yes. So how did
on a shooting range
how
is
did-
what. Yeah,
yes.
like, it's all happening in a shooting
with
range.
goaltenders? How did
Absolutely.
who thought Super Saturday up, and how did that start, and how has it evolved? Because I know, is it the same as like night one? I don't think it possibly can't be.
No. So back to like what Richard, he touched on it for a second, but it was like so we always had this thought of like, the audience is really just like NASCAR, just like the NBA, just like NFL, right? We were trying to think like, hey man, like really all those sports are really nothing without an audience. So if the audience was to drop off the NFL tomorrow, the NFL would in theory cease to exist within a few years. And so we were like, we got to start really taking care of the audience, and league 100% is for the drivers, right? That is an organized organized events put together, organized schedules, organized rules. I think the rule book is like 8 pages long. Super organized. So then we were like, all right, so it was me. Shout out to Christopher Pinder, I'm gonna miss some names here, so I probably shouldn't even name names, but I'm gonna try to get them all.
Just say CMS guys.
Yeah, me, Christopher Pinder, Travis DeLeon, Daniel Pendergrass, um, William Bowman. I think Zach Scare might have been there in a few of the early days.
Oh yeah.
But basically we were all hanging out on the weekends, and we were like, hey man, let's just put together some races, and we'll go out there and we'll have, because we like joining these hosted lobbies, because for those of you who don't know, in iRacing there's like, you can do official races, which counts towards what us gamers would call your rank. In iRacing it's called iRating. Um, and then you have hosted races, which is basically like the equivalent if you were to go into Halo and you were to load up a custom lobby and your friends join in. Except your hosted races in iRacing, they're public, so you can set them to private, but most of us just put them as public, and then anybody can go through the hosted races and just join the one that they like the most. So it honestly started out with just a bunch of guys hanging out on the weekend, just putting up hosted lobbies, and we're like, let's just get a bunch of people together and let's race and let's just have some fun, like just completely screw around. Not trying to have any racecraft. Like, we're trying to bring back the NASCAR heat days of just like, let's just screw around with each other, like mess around with each other. And then I think it was like the very next week that we did it, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just load up the stream and might as well practice broadcasting while we're doing this. So I sat there and I started broadcasting it, and then I don't remember the fine details, but it was something along the lines of like, I would just tell chat like, hey, if you want me to kick this guy, I'll just kick this guy. Or if you want me to give this guy a black flag, I'll give him a black flag. And then next thing you know, as it progresses and progresses, I started doing it for channel points. And then as people came in, we're still new, so people don't really have a lot of channel points. So I did, at the time it was super cheap bits. I think everything was like 100 bits.
Yep.
And it was just like, hey, 100 bits and you can black flag this driver, 100 bits and you can throw a yellow. And then we quickly realized like it was catching on. Like, people loved it. People were actually like starting to participate, and we realized like, all right, so now we've got the audience engagement. And so what we have here is a Super Saturday more towards the audience, and the drivers are really they're really the innocent bystanders in this situation. Like, they are just,
They are the puppets.
They're at the mercy of chat, and it turned into absolute chaos, which we loved. It turned into pure entertainment, which is what we were going for. And that's when we decided like, hey, what business do we ultimately want to be in? Do we want to be in the racing business, or do we want to be in the entertainment business? Because those are two very different things. If we want to be in the racing business, there's a lot of that out there. I mean, we can do that with any broadcaster, any person that we want to broadcast our races. Like, we can set that up. But if we want to truly be in the entertainment business, like, we need to gear towards the fans. And whether that's Richard brought in for the league nights, like talking about like, hey, what is and don't get me wrong, I don't know what the following is, and Richard's gonna hate me for that, but when you look at something like wrestling, right?
Oh, great analogy. I can't wait. Go ahead.
To me, wrestling, not that entertaining. But when you get down to like the storylines, now you're talking about like, oh, okay, The Rock's coming back. Sweet. Let's go check this out. You know what I mean?
Which is what sports entertainment is. Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
Right. So, but then you have stuff like the NFL, right? NFL really doesn't have storylines.
That's just as fake, Mike. The terrible analogy.
I know.
Terrible analogy.
So we went into like, we were like, hey, so for league night, we had to, what was that? The first season we started broadcasting together was season 4 or 3-ish.
Yeah.
And that's when we started coming up with like, hey man, we need to figure out and write down, like, when something happens on track, we just need to start selling the storylines, like, just like going into it. And it was kind of rough at first, but Richard, like, I know he does all the league broadcasts now.
Yep.
Just because it was literally like, I was on my computer probably 7 days a week. And I was like, I gotta cut something out here. And my son, as he's gotten older and stuff like that, like, he's getting more into like these extracurricular activities. And I was like, dude, I am literally swamped. But as if you'll notice, I'll start getting sidetracked on things like super quick.
I was told it
But
was really cutting into your career as a dentist last night, just so you know.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, super. Like I don't know if you know how many dental conferences there are out there, but that's you'd be
Brother,
surprised at what you can do with a molar. Uh,
brother,
but
what
the
now? What,
so
mature
yeah,
filter?
so yeah, the advancements in fillers is insane.
Yeah, amalgam or an enamel.
Yeah,
Absolutely, it's huge,
We
huge advancements.
I've watched a bunch of the Super Saturdays, and like the moment for me is like there's always like the little things like okay like yellow flag and this, but there's the absolute chaos component,
right.
which watching Super Saturday is everybody's got to go through pit road full speed.
Yeah,
And
Pit
the
road
first time I
racing.
saw that, I'm like, oh no, no, like no, like these virtual people have families. Like you're like, oh my god, you're gonna like, but we followed suit. Last ILF, we played D&D, and we did the same thing with like little stuff, and it was like $25, and you could give us a magic item, or $20, you can add another monster to the bad guys, or for whatever. And then for $500, you could drop a dragon on our level 1 party.
Perfect.
yeah,
And 3
Yeah.
people dropped dragons on us within the first
That's
hour.
perfect. Yeah, if you build it, that was the kind of the antithesis of it was we like Mike said, you have that regular old racing out there, but I'm not coming to watch Twitch for racing. I want to be entertained because we're Mike, you spent so much time, away from the fam, and that's the same that people want to get away from what their day was, and they want to get away from it. They don't want to just watch racing, and all of a sudden we're able to bring them something like Super Saturdays, where there are others that do some stuff that's similar, right? But it's the community that separates us from a lot of the other the available content out there because of what we're doing, not just for charities, but what we're doing on the broadcasts and the community we're building in Discord. Not the league one. Ignore that one, especially after races. You definitely don't want to go in there after races. Um, but I enjoy just the community thing was huge, and taking it and giving it to the hands of the viewers. Like that brought on that try hard series I did in the summertime where I took all the control out of the driver's hands and I put them on teams. um I drafted them to teams randomly, and I just took all the control out of their hands and put them together with people that they may not have ever talked to before. They've been racing with them for several seasons now,
Yeah.
or they race with each other on Saturdays, but all of a sudden you force them into a position where it's you three guys on a team and what you do affects the other. And so it that's what I enjoy the most about being able to broadcast something as silly as iRacing, is like the fun that we can have with just not just the viewer, but also the drivers. Pit road race laps, like you said, random black flags. And they have a lot of people that come in don't learn. If you complain about getting a black flag, prepare yourself for 7 to 10 more.
oh
Or if you complain about an EOL, you're gonna your permanent address is now the back of the field,
Yep.
dude,
because the Twitch will then park you in the back. And so that's the kind of, it's the involvement that I'm like, we can come up with any show, we could run a race every night, but it's like, but what's in it for the driver? Not
yeah.
not a prize, but what's in it for the driver, as far as like, I'm taking time out of my night to come do this instead of like a ranked or go spend time with my family.
And
Uh,
shout out to ILF for being a non-vigilante organization, but our
Yeah.
Twitch chat is 100% vigilante organization. Like they are.
1000%.
I've never seen a Twitch chat get more organized against the driver than a driver that has completely talk smack to the Twitch chat. Like it
Or
is.
just Landon Quisenberry being called a bum, and now that's a gimmick. That's now his name
oh
now.
no. It's wild because there's like there's steps to it, right? So I'm with you, Richard, which is like I don't know if you know this, but I actually refed like the equivalent of minor league county fair wrestling, like
I love
back in the
that.
day. Yeah,
I love
I
that.
have had Honky Tonk Man break his guitar over my back, so that is a true story.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but like wrestling,
Oh,
if wrestling was just sports, it would just be the biggest guy would win every single time.
exactly.
But you get that storytelling element of like there's the underdog stories that are great, or there's the who's going to turn on the other, anybody else
Yeah.
win. And then now that's cool that that's all in there. But even that's not going to begin and end the way you thought. Now chat
Yep.
is the chaos factor.
Yeah.
I think UFC is a perfect example of that. Everyone can get behind that one fighter and like, oh man, this guy is amazing. Wait till you see him fight. Then he gets knocked out in the first round. What now? What's the story, right? What is going to keep me tuned in
Right.
to the next week, or what's going to make me come back to want to see the product? Not just maybe that just that fighter, but that's the product. I paid $59 or I paid this amount of money or whatever to watch a product and the dude gets knocked out in 10 seconds. Oops.
Yeah.
With wrestling, at least there's a little bit of there's no real end. There's periods, right?
It's seasonal.
There's little,
Almost.
yeah, there's just there's periods in sentences, and then there's parentheses, and then there's different, the sentence structure in wrestling is so much fun. Anyway, Mike, you can sit this one out. Anyway, so for professional wrestling,
Hey,
there's
hold
a
on.
lot
To transition back to Affinity Racing.
I'm totally kidding.
Right now we're in the Nathan Barrows era, right? Like he's currently winning everything. Like he's just in there like winning every
Nick
championship,
Miller.
right? And
And
then
Nick
we
Miller
got
on
in
the
the
league
league.
side.
Yeah, in the league we have the Nick Miller side. This Wednesday coming up, right? Richard's got the perfect storyline. Tom Wetmore just put an absolute waxing on the field. And now he's got to sit here and try to be like, hey, what's Tom Wetmore got at New Hampshire?
Another short track, right?
Another short
he
track.
says it's a good one for him. So the storyline there is fun, but also it's a new car, and the storyline in the Discord becomes everyone's absolute hatred for it.
Yep.
So now, not only, I'll touch on it real
Don't put our
quick.
skin on that car. Don't put our skin.
Oh, no, 1000% will be on every car this week. It is mandatory, or they're all DQ'd. New Hampshire, it's going to be a great example of a short track race where for a gamer, there's the hitbox. So a hitbox is the area in which the character is surrounded that it takes contact, like a bullet flies at it or it gets hit by something, right? That it's the contact box around it.
Yep.
This car's contact box is the size of the Titanic. So it's not necessarily as fine tuned as the other vehicles. So you may look like you're 6 inches behind them, but all of a sudden you're doing stuff you're not supposed to do on Twitch, and you're inside of the other car. That's what the computer's saying. So the touchiness of the car has gone on to just infuriate everybody.
Yeah.
But every car is not perfect. They're just, the storyline is now it's drivers versus car, and right now car is winning.
And the beauty of it is like, if any of these guys ever met me and Richard, it's the first thing you realize is don't tell us what you don't like.
Oh yeah.
Because like for instance, we did I think it was season 4 maybe, where I think it was I think Tiller came in. He was like, hey, we're gonna do a vote on tracks if you guys want to do that, and we're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So we did a vote on tracks. One track in particular did not get a single vote, and that was I believe Phoenix. And Phoenix didn't get a single vote. And so naturally, like the very first meeting we had about the schedule, I was like, Phoenix is going on the schedule. Like
1000%.
not a single person voted for that. Are you kidding me? Like Phoenix is going on the schedule.
Yep.
So absolutely, like at any point, like they'll be in the Discord now and they'll be like, hey, like we can't stand the ARCA car. Can we switch it? Can we switch it? And it's like, no,
they're
like
in
as
there
a matter
now.
of
They're totally doing it right now. Look at their Tenold was like the ARCA car's the absolute best. Yeah, like
yeah. And as soon as you tell us like you don't like it, it's like, all right, well, I mean, we might do a second season of these.
Season
Like that's
7 announcement. I was just about to say season 7 announcement coming at you right now. ARCA cars for the next up and the Cup Series. It's gonna be incredible. ARCA only forever.
Once we find out you all like a car, it's like, okay, well, if everybody likes this car, that means
neat.
It must be easy to drive. 2, it must be everybody's been practicing with it. Like, no, let me put you in like an 87 or something like that. Something that people like have to actually drive or have to actually like try to figure out. I was like, and that's where the fun really starts to kick in, especially from the broadcast perspective.
The chaos of Battlegrounds. So Battlegrounds being another kind of staple of a show we do is just the same concept. We take 2 different types of cars, or the battle is car versus track, because you can manipulate the weather and you can turn the temperature way up on these tracks to about 120 degrees ish. And then you can also turn the fog all the way up.
Yeah, we noticed that early
And
on.
then you can also turn the wind all the way up, and you can run that sucker east to west across Talladega. So, in 1 and 2, you're like, I am flying in this corner. I'm literally in the air. And then in 3 and 4, you're just tight, 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 tight. It is a lot of fun to mess with the drivers because they just come in, they sign up, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you guys have 13% fuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
There-
The Battlegrounds was actually it was a spawn of Super Saturday. We were doing Super Saturday, and then at
Summer
some point
Saturday.
we started wondering like, hey man, like I don't want to just do this on Saturday because it was a lot of fun, especially in the off season of the league. Like we were basically just running on Saturdays, and so we were like, let's what can we do to make Super Saturday every day of the week? And originally, so at this point, Richard had come over to the Super Saturday side after his uh we'll call it a breakup. You know what I'm talking about, Richard.
Jesus, man. What? What?
He went through a rough patch, buddy. We
I
were
went
all
through,
feeling for
it
you.
was a rough couple years of
It was
just,
like
oh,
no,
this
no, no.
was strike one, strike two, strike three. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all
So
right. We're all right
he
now.
came over. We welcomed him with open arms, like come here, like a little baby bear. You know, like come on in, buddy.
Oh,
The water's
don't,
fine. That's one of
don't.
his sayings.
Come on in. The
But
water is indeed fine.
so and at that time we were talking about like the hey, how do we do this more often? So that's when we started just doing our brainstorming thing, and again we came up with battlegrounds. We started threw together some logos, and we were 100% on board. And we started doing track versus track, and then we realized that we could manipulate the servers, not just like weather and wind and all this other stuff that he was talking about. But we also realized like we can set limits to things, so uh, we can set things to DQ you at a certain amount of incidents because iRacing has an incident limit. We can up to recently, like now we just play flat out games with them, like the bonus or boot game, where it's literally a coin flip. You're either in the race or you're out, and if you're in the race, you get bonus points. Um, and then what else? I mean, I have literally a list of games that we play. Fuel game was one of the one that Richard touched on, where it's like we give you like 4 laps of fuel, so you're just constantly pitting, trying to stay. Honestly, we have a no damage game, which means
oh,
we can turn off
no.
damage, and
Are you kidding me?
those just turn into absolute wreck fest because there's no consequence
Ping pong.
for
Yeah.
for doing anything.
So you can
Season
limit
point
almost
races.
anything except for the amount that people can donate if they want to donate to the charity.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
you
then
can you can actually do that over at raceaffinity.com/donate.
There's
And you
my
can do
guy.
that right now. You can actually do it right now. You can head
Yeah.
over to raceaffinity.com, open a new tab, Control T, raceaffinity.com/donate. $1, $5, don't matter.
I love this.
Yeah.
I know how to engage Brandon. Like it's just like, hey,
Attaboy.
just throw this out. Here's your
This is
trigger. Right?
fantastic. I was like,
The
my
other
ears
really
perked up.
super cool thing that I love was like it's not even just even all the things that you're controlling, even in that environment. We'll go with battlegrounds, but in general, you're not just the eye in the tower. You're not just like looking down on everybody because you have all the camera angles. But what's really cool, and we watched it, I think last week when somebody flipped, is the in-car cameras.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. The gyro.
Yeah, because that is a oh immediately like you're looking and you're like, oh, the person's okay, and then you're like, oh, it's pixels. But
Yeah, right.
but at the same time, you're like, I wonder what they're experiencing right now. Like I know they're they're
Especially
sitting like this, but
some have a full motion VR set, and the
oh,
violence at which you're flipping a fake car could kind of be put through that, I guess, and maybe even VR. I can only imagine what that looks like in VR. I do not play in VR as I am over the age of 35, so I'm like, what's that? And yeah, no thanks. Motion sickness, claustrophobia, no thanks.
I keep seeing commercials for Borderlands 4, and I remember we got Borderlands VR, and that lasted about 8 seconds. And so,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Oh, I can't imagine. I
it's
can't imagine any game in VR.
I will
Just
I will say I tried iRacing in VR. It is super cool. Like I mean to be able to just look around as you're driving. Um, but I don't know. For me, it was almost like it was too much going on. Like there was just there you were almost too immersed. Like I didn't like it. I like being able to. Plus, I use my other monitors for like other things, whether that's Discord or like I like to click on things. And that's one of the one of the guys we race with all the time. His name's Eric McFarlane. And Eric, he'll always tell you like if we want him to click on something or join another channel, he has to like lift up his VR goggles real quick to go over to that Discord and then put his
Awful.
VR goggles back on. And I'm like, oh man,
Alright.
that's kind of
That's
tough.
so
Like I don't want to have
bad.
to do all that.
Yeah. What are you, Batman?
Yeah, what do
Yeah.
you-
I'd rather just wreck into the wall as I'm trying to switch
Where's
channels
my
than
Twitch chat?
Well, it was so funny. I think I think it was Bristol Week. I don't even know what they're all run together at this point, not because
Agreed.
I have to go to workshop tomorrow, and then I'm in grad school after that, and then I'm joining next up after that. So I'll from
wait,
you know,
wait. You're
I'll,
joining next up?
no,
God,
I'll
that'd be
join
so
it from
cool.
yeah, I'll
Come
be
on, Nick.
watching in
Like,
Discord.
come
Come on
on,
over.
Nick.
Look, I don't
We're
want to.
sending you a wheel tonight.
I don't want to ruin my. I'll send you a webcam that works. I don't want to ruin my perfect top 10 finish.
Touche.
Uh,
He is. He is 1 for 1 in top tens in
He
Affinity
is, dude.
Racing. I don't
it's
Dude,
care
so
about that asterisk parentheses AI next to it. That doesn't matter. I don't care
can we
about that
can we
crap.
give a shout out to the community real quick? Like that was such an awesome night. So Nick, you led us off. You got the pole position on your
oh,
very first race.
there
For
you
those of
go.
you who don't know, we put together a basically a Donomania is what it was called.
There
Shout
you
out to
go.
Richard for the naming convention as always.
Yeah, way better
Uh,
than Super Saturdays. We can't be super any other day now. Fantastic.
yeah,
What
Awesome.
what's
and
the?
so
It's not join the. What is it? It's not join the pit crew, right? Is that no?
Oh,
well,
What's
oh
the?
there it
that's
is.
that's Heltrack
Welcome
in the
to the
chat. Welcome
oh,
to the pit crew. I should have him
welcome
jump
to
in
the
here
pit
real quick
crew.
just to
Yeah, just have him do the voiceover for the do your ad reads.
So yeah,
Mike is
so
amazing.
so another little crossover, another little tie-in is that the individuals are analysts who do perform the actual tasks are the predator identification team. So we have a pit also, and so that was interesting to hear like the sort of the racing like
The lingo
parallel, the
transcent.
lingo
Yeah,
we both
right.
translate.
have
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
pit
was kind of
crews.
like, we have a pit.
I
We have
gotta
a
I gotta
pit.
be honest with you, Nick. Your pit crew sounds way cooler than our pit crew.
Way
I love our
So
guys to
cooler.
death, but
we also have a pit droid that somebody 3D printed for
See,
us.
we don't. Why don't we have a droid?
So his name is Lives L1-V35. He's in my office. I'll take pictures and throw them in the Discord for you guys. But
Wow.
yeah, we have a pit droid to go with our pit crew.
Heltrack, can you make us a droid, bud?
Yeah, can we get a
He's got a
3D
3D
printed
printer.
droid? Yeah, can we get a droid, please?
I'll send
Do
you.
we have the?
I probably have the diagram. I can share.
Oh my god, I need
Oh,
a droid.
so back to what I was saying though.
Yes.
Shout out to the community, right?
Yeah.
So Nick Kelly, the guy you guys all
That's
see
right.
on your
Rev
on your
3 dude.
on your
Hey,
That fine,
screen right there.
handsome man
Yep.
right there on your screen, because the other
And
two don't want to take any thunder away from him. Sorry, Troy.
Thanks.
he led us to green for our first ever Donomania, and it's the first time ever trying this.
Can
But
you say
basically what we
11
did
hours,
was
by the way?
basically what we did was you could buy another race by donating, and it progressively got more expensive because, to be honest with you, we didn't want to be on for 11 hours. So, however, ye have little faith in our community because they 100% bought every race we had available, and we stayed up until 7 in the morning,
Oh,
just racing in circles.
And my son was up at 7:45.
But
Oh.
Nick Kelly did. We created a persona of Nick Kelly. We put him in a car, and he led us to green on his first ever race.
There you go.
I think it was Talladega Xfinity car,
It sure was.
and got a top 10 his first time out. So
Huge.
first and only.
we had
Huge.
we had very strict rules. You were not allowed to wreck Nick. You were not allowed to like penalize him. You weren't allowed to do any of that stuff. So
He wrecks you, deal with it.
yeah,
Suck it up.
Like
We
the
talk
enemy
about
Tron cycle.
Absolutely. We talk about cautions all the time. We actually do a caution battle. Updated numbers for this season right now is the Cup Series is losing. They dominated last year by about 30 cautions,
that was a
I
lot.
believe.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But this season, right now, the standings are after 4 races, Cup Series is at 24, and the next up series is at 18. They've had 6 each in their races, but they've gone 9-8, 9-8 in the Cup Series. So, Super Nick versus Super Dale. Well,
Yeah,
I know what we're doing this weekend. There you go. That's how powerful the chat is. They come up with the races, and now we're gonna ruin your 1-for-1 top 10 streak. Maybe.
Yeah.
You might get a dub.
Who knows?
Yeah, and
who knows?
Mike doesn't win.
Talking about like the entertainment portion that we were striving for. Like we also did like Super Nick versus Super Dale. We started doing like because you can create AI cars and you can literally name them anything. So like when the Super Bowl came around earlier this year, like we actually did the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chiefs, right?
Oh, you just
Uh,
had to say it.
and
Go
then we
Broncos.
and then we when Logan Paul fought Mike Tyson, we put Logan Paul in a car and we put Mike Tyson in a car to see if we could predict the winner.
It's Jake Paul.
I don't know what our accuracy rate is. I don't keep track of those stats, but I don't think it's good. I don't think
It's
we're
not
really good.
great. The AI cars really don't have a good go of it because they typically get caught up in the mess. They'll wash up into the top line, and then everyone in front of them just wrecks. So it gets bad,
Yeah,
and they never wave themselves around.
yeah,
I
They
was in
never.
I was in San Francisco during RSA, and the Waymo cars are so passive, like the self-driving taxis and stuff. They're
Oh
not
yeah.
allowed near the airport because
oh wow,
you'll literally never get to your flight because they're just like there's a chance that I might hit something, so I won't go forward. Yeah,
Wow.
it's how they're programmed. It's wildly fascinating and completely different tangent that we want to go on because we are 2 minutes left in the hour.
yeah,
Not that we get talkative, not that we get chatty. Also, yeah, I've run out of questions on my script.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't have one. So, um, not no questions in chat. A lot of comments in chat. A lot of suggestions in chat, which I love, and I appreciate all chat being here tonight because it was I saw a lot of familiar faces. Tenold's in there. Lunar's in there. And for all the braggadociousness last night that Ashish was going to be here. Just saying. So
Oh, that man's asleep. It's West Coast time for him. He's still asleep. Are you kidding me? He'll catch the VOD for sure
Yeah.
at like three
Ashish
in
is
the
on
morning.
Ashish is on West Coast time, but then there's also like the Ashish portion of the West Coast time, which is I believe this is sleepy time for
It
Ashish.
would
He
be
wakes up.
Central European time,
He wakes.
essentially, is what she works on.
I will. I'll be like I said. I'll be there tomorrow night. So I will heckle him mercilessly as I'm prone to do.
Oh God, can't wait.
No,
Um,
but Heltrek just said it actually in the chat. But Ashish did get a new job. So congrats to him, man. He's out there. He's out there working away. So Ashish is actually at work right now. So
I'll
he's not.
God bless him.
He's brand new job, man.
pay for his new
I hope
car and
first day
his
went well.
iRacing insurance.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got to. You have to. That
cars are expensive.
yeah, cars aren't cheap. They keep adding new ones.
So
And if
Mike
you've seen
Brennan,
Ashish, if you've
yeah,
seen Ashish race, you know that
yeah.
man's gotta he's got to keep replenishing those
I think I
cars.
know why he was in the booth last week. Not to
Oh, yeah.
not saying
It was
anything.
a real quick out. Yeah, he decided he went from the car to the snack bar real quick.
Catering, right
Yeah,
straight to catering.
corn
Um,
dogs.
yeah. So all right. So Mike, Brandon, Affinity Racing. Like, give everybody who's going to see this because again, like a lot of people watch live, but more people watch when we record and post afterwards because not everybody's um, even knows what they're in for this particular fireside chat. So tell me about the rest of the season. Where can people find you? What do you want to promote? Like other than a shop that doesn't exist, you know,
Right now.
lay it on us. Yeah.
Rashard, you know you're way better at ad
I knew
reads.
you were gonna
You know
do
you
it.
are
I
way
knew
better.
it. I knew it.
If you, have you ever
I
heard
was
this
gonna
man get cut
mute.
off from an ad read before? He's like, I wasn't finished.
It's typically when it's the invite for everybody essentially. No. Every Monday and Wednesday night, Race Affinity Plus on Twitch. We run the Cup and Next Up series right here. It's 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And then Super Saturdays on the Big Brother channel at Race Affinity, 10/9 Central. Super Saturdays nonsense. If you guys want to come out, check us out, watch, enjoy. You can participate and put all the drivers through the ringer. Backmarker shop or backmarker.shop is backmarker.down right now, but we'll get that up and there's official merch that's going to be on there soon. And then also go follow us on the socials at Race Affinity and raceaffinity.com on the web. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Perfect. This guy's got it down to a science. This guy got forced into the booth somehow, magically somehow got forced into the
Yep.
booth.
No notes.
No notes. Yeah. When I finish my
Yeah.
when I finish my masters, I'll go back and I'll get an undergrad in broadcasting so I can join you in 7 years.
YouTube. 7 minutes, you'll learn whatever you need.
Perfect.
Promise.
All right. Well, I want to thank the boys for being here again. Innocent Lives Foundation charity stream on Tuesday nights when we're not doing fireside chats. Also, feel free to join us on Race Affinity Plus on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays for the rest of the season. Race Affinity on Super Saturdays. You heard it there from the man himself. Again, Innocent Lives Foundation is a non-vigilante organization. We identify anonymous online child predators. We develop and deliver specialized training for law enforcement. And we have a bevy of resources on the website to help educate parents, teachers, and guardians. You can find out more at innocentLivesFoundation.com. FireSideChat.org. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Thank you so much, chat. This was a really good time. This is this is wild. So, on behalf of Brandon and Mike, go get yourself a late night cup of coffee and see what you can come up with for Super Saturday, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, appreciate you having us, man.
Of
Thanks,
course.
buddy.
Thank you.